Hello guys, welcome to another interview with one of our FTMO traders, and today we're having Justin from Texas in USA. Hello Justin.
Hey, what's up? How you doing, Vitek?
I'm doing pretty well. So before we start, guys, for those of you who are maybe watching us for the first time, FTMO is a proprietary trading firm, and if you pass our evaluation process, you get to manage up to $200,000 on our FTMO account. Well, this is something that Justin here did. He's now managing an FTMO account. So if I'm not mistaken, you're now managing. You have a $150,000 FTMO account, right? Or do you have two?
Yes, at the moment I have two $50,000 FTMO accounts.
Okay,
and
so 100K in
that's
total.
quite an experience.
All right. So I noticed that first you started trading with us back in late 2019. So that's gonna be 3 years. So
That's right.
seems that there has been quite a journey. So yeah, go ahead and just tell us a bit more about how did you get to trading and what have you been doing in the past couple of years?
Well, first I'd like to say, man, this is a fantastic opportunity. I thank you for having me on this interview.
Happy to
Happy to
have you
be here.
here.
Yes. So my name is Jay Bryan, Justin Bryan. I also go by Jay Bryan. I'm an athlete, artist, businessman, and trader. I have my hands in a lot of different pots, and my professional background started in web development, running my coding firm with several Fortune 100 companies, many well-known brands that you all use on a regular basis. But I'd have to say my most exciting and most lucrative line of business is Forex trading. And I'm very happy and ecstatic to be with FTMO, a company that has given me and many other traders an opportunity to not put our own finances at risk and also be able to see massive profits if trading successfully. So when I'm not in front of the charts, I like to either write music, travel, be physically active in the gym, running, and spending time with family. As we all know, the most important things in life are the things that money cannot buy. They are the things that give us the most joy. So I believe in loyalty and I believe in family most of all. So my story in Forex is contrary to the common trader story. My introduction to Forex, this business, was an exciting roller coaster ride. And yes, it was my first trade, or the first time I heard about trading was via Instagram. And I thought if they could do it, then let me give this a try. I saw people being successful at it, so why not give it a try? And so I did a bit of research and found a reputable Forex service provider. I started a demo account, and after a few days, only a few days, I went live and I traded
Wow. Okay,
live.
well that was a quick journey. Oh, well, okay, go on.
It was a super quick turnaround, and the profits that I saw on demo were so exciting to me that I just needed to go live right away. So I went live with this Forex service provider that I signed up with. And after a couple of days, I saw some success. So interestingly, I began my Forex journey during not the most recent, but the previous presidential election.
Hmm.
And post the election news, the US dollar went on a strong bullish run. I held a buy position on USD JPY, scaled into that position multiple times, and saw my account 10x in just maybe 14 days.
Okay, and
And
at this time, how long were you trading? So you were trading just for a couple of weeks,
yeah,
and
absolutely, absolutely.
and you got wow. Okay, wow, that
Yeah.
must have been something. I mean, how did you deal with it? I mean, psychologically, it must have been like, must have been crazy. The emotions must have been off the charts.
Well, I'll tell you this. I was sitting at my job at the time and looking at my phone and seeing the numbers go up on MT4. And I'm already plotting how many Lambos I'm going to buy.
Oh yeah.
So you could say I had beginner's luck, but as we all know, beginner's luck is it really sustainable for a lucrative Forex career? I think not. So after a few months of trading the US dollar and simply placing buy positions on USD JPY, I soon realized that I really need to learn this business. The dollar reached its peak. It began to pull back. And this is when the real trading needed to come into play. Skill sets that at the time I did not have any knowledge of, did not have any knowledge of candlesticks, price action, market structure, risk reward, or anything of that nature. All the tools that I now use that help me be successful. At the time, I did not know. So what happened was I actually ended up withdrawing those profits, which is great. I was able to use that and use it for my benefit and my family's benefit. But as I began to put more money back into the markets, obviously, I didn't see the success that I saw the first 14 days of trading, first 2 months of trading. So after that, 2 years into trading, it was very difficult to replicate the results I saw in the first 2 months of trading.
Okay, I think this is something that a lot of crypto traders are having right now, right? Because I mean, if there is such a strong bull run, then well, let's face it, it's not too hard to be a profitable trader. I mean, seemingly, right? Because you simply just buy, maybe, well, in crypto you just buy a couple of coins, and if there's a strong bull run, then in most cases you're actually gonna make money. But actually, when the bull run ends, that's when a lot of traders are facing the reality, right? That it's not just about buying and buying, and when the bull run is over, you actually gotta learn more in order to stay profitable even after the bull run period.
Vitek, that is so true. It's not just about buying. There are times where we can just buy into the market. This is where we see traders who aren't really knowledgeable in the ins and outs of trading see success, and everyone sees success at those times. But that's not the reality of trading. That probably happens 10% of the time. The other 90%, we have to know market structure, key levels, candlestick confirmations, how to draw proper trend lines. What patterns are you looking for in the market? How are you setting up your risk reward and things of that nature? I can go deep into it. There's a lot that goes into it. I can go deep into it, but that's just the basis of it.
All right. Well, now that you've mentioned the candlesticks, the risk reward, and so on, so how would you describe yourself as a trader? Are you more of a technical trader? Do you use technical analysis, or do you use any indicators, or do you like to use just pure price action with a clean chart? What is your usual setup?
That's a great question. I would say price action trader. I would definitely say that, but the fundamentals are obviously driving the market. But the technicals are showing you a reflection of the fundamentals. So if understanding technical analysis and understanding what's actually going on in the fundamentals, it brings the picture full circle, and you can really make some positive trading decisions that will positively reflect in your results. So I use just a few indicators. The EMAs, 2 EMAs, the 10 and 20 EMA. I'll tell you everything that I do. I'm not going to hold anything back here. I'm going to let everyone know exactly what I do and how I trade the markets, as much as I can deliver in the time constraints that we have today with each other. So I would say, just a few handful of indicators is not much. I pay attention to the market structure. I pay attention to key levels each and every session or each and every new trading cycle. I look at candlestick confirmations before entering a trade. I try to draw trend lines and look for confluences that match up with each other, stacking confluences to find my axis point into the market. I trade a handful of patterns, just about 6 different patterns that you probably won't find on the internet. Actually, I know for a fact you won't find these on the internet. Also, I use Fibonacci retracements and extensions. I advocate top-down analysis. Definitely do perform the top-down analysis, starting with the monthly chart, working your way down to whatever time frame you're looking for an entry on. And then also, as I mentioned, the 10 and 20 EMA and stacking confluences to give myself the perfect entry. But then also, once that trade is entered, we want to minimize risk. We want to understand if we're going to swing trade this or trade this intraday. We also want to manage the trade properly, look for trade optimization as scaling into the position while also not adding to the risk, and then maximizing the profit for the exit.
Okay. Well, this is actually something that we touched upon in the previous interview as well, with Griffin, because there is a lot of traders who, let's say, use only technical analysis. They stick to a few patterns, and they see some success. But obviously, or at least what I think, if you stick to using only technical analysis or only a few patterns, it's not something that you can use to be profitable forever, right? I think you really gotta get the whole picture of how the market works, and that means you gotta include the fundamentals as well, and then you actually get the full picture of the confluences in the market, and then you can actually or that approach can be sustainable for a long time period.
So I'll tell you this, it definitely makes the game, or it makes this business a lot simpler when you understand the bigger picture, for sure.
Okay. Now I would like to touch upon something completely different. You said that you're an athlete, you do a lot of sports, and that automatically equals to discipline. So that is something that is similar to trading as well. So I'd like to ask if you think that your psychology that you gotta let's say use in trading, if that helped you in other aspects of your life, well, namely in the sports, in being an athlete.
Oh, most definitely. Absolutely. Discipline is extremely important in this game. It's when I first got into trading, I definitely did not have the discipline. It's super difficult to have discipline in Forex. Maybe you'll be disciplined in other areas of your life, but in Forex, when you see profits exceeding what you normally make from your job in a month, and you're trading that and making that in a couple of days, it makes the trader want to risk more, want to trade more often, want to maybe close profits quicker, decreasing the risk to reward ratio rather than expanding the risk to reward ratio. And yeah, so discipline is extremely important. I recommend coming up with a trading strategy, a plan, a business plan in this business that you stick to regularly and basically daily with every single trade.
All right. Okay, so here we are with Justin with gold, which by the way is I saw it is your favorite trading pair, isn't it? Gold USD.
Gold is definitely my favorite trading pair. It's what I started with when I was trading on demo back in 2016, and it's what I am trading now on a regular basis. If you look at my account metrics, you'll see that gold is probably the only currency pair that I traded during the successful sprint of taking the 50K account from zero to $15,000 profit.
All right, so I can see that we're here on a monthly chart. So are you gonna begin with some top-down analysis?
Absolutely. So here we are on gold, and we'll do a breakdown from the monthly chart, and I'll cover a specific trade that I've taken on the 50K FTMO account. So looking at gold, starting with the monthly time frame, I always do a top-down analysis starting from the top down. Many traders understand what a top-down analysis is. So looking at the monthly chart, I like to understand market structure first. And here we see that the market structure is what I would think is bearish, because an uptrend consists of higher highs and higher lows, and a downtrend consists of lower highs and lower lows. And looking at the monthly chart, you can see we've pushed past the previous 2 or 3 lows here on this monthly time frame. Actually, I'll grab this tool so we all can see. So we can see that the market is bearish. We can push past this low, and just recently pushed past this low. So I see this as a bearish market. So let's take it to the lower time frame for a closer look. Looking at this chart, we can also see that the market has been putting in lower highs and lower lows. So we're seeing bearish price action here. Market's put in this lower low, followed by this lower high. And then now we've just recently pushed down to show a lower low. So then I'll take it to the daily chart. And the daily chart is where I like to find my setups. So here we can see the market, again, putting in lower lows, giving pullbacks. We saw a bit of pullback here, push down, market push down, giving us the lower low, pushing past these lows. And now we're in a bit of consolidation. So the trade that I took on the account was pretty much this swing here. this was one of the swings that led to the success on that 50K FTMO account. And let's break it down and talk about why I took this trade. So as we know, the monthly, the lower time frames, they're all bearish at this point. I like to look for currency pairs that are in sync with each other, or in line. I look for market structure that's in line from top down, showing the same market structure. In this case, we've seen bearish market structure all the way down to this daily chart. So let's go back to the higher time frame. And first there's market structure. Then I'll look for key levels here. We have a simple key level here. After that, I'll look for some sort of confirmation around the key level. So if we take it down to the daily chart, we'll see the market putting in one of my candle confirmations I look for. There are about 6 and 3 main ones that I look for. I cover all of this. If anyone wants to understand what I specifically look for, what type of candlesticks I look for, just reach out to me. You can find me on tradergrowth.com. So here we are, big wick. This is what I call a long wick or a big wick candle. We can see that at the key level. Very easy, very simple analysis. Many traders who know technical analysis know what to look for at key level. So this is what we have, big wick candle. So when I saw that, I said, okay, there's a potential we could be looking for a sell. So we can see the market breaking and retesting the trend line. This is what the next step in the analysis. We want to draw a trend line, look for any breaks and retests. Here we have the market pushing past the trend line, coming back for the retest, hitting the key level and the trend line for a nice access point. Let's take it back to the higher time frame. Next, I'll draw in the Fibonacci. We could take the Fibonacci from the most recent swing high to the most recent swing low. You see the market tapping the 61.8 retracement. Let's take it back to the daily. Market tapping the 61.8 retracement, putting in the double top, break and retest of the trend line, tapping the key level. Let's take it down to the 4-hour chart. Looking at the 4-hour chart, we can see the market holding beneath here. And right around this area is when I began to look for some sell positions. I don't believe this was actually on the 50K account. I have other accounts that I trade. So I don't think the 50K account was active right at this time. It wasn't active until we got down into these areas, but I began to sell from here. Now going back to the higher time frame.
It's nice to see that the price really bounced back exactly at the 61.8 retracement.
Well, yeah, obviously that's not the case every single time, but that's what I like to look for. And the area on the Fibonacci is the 61.8 to the 78.6. Those are the areas that I like to look for some sort of entry on the daily chart specifically. So let's take it back to the daily chart. So after the market made this move, this was going into a Friday. So Sunday, at Sunday market open, we could see, we could take another daily chart Fibonacci here. And we can see that the market gave a break, a retest of the key level, a retest of the trend line, and then also the 78.6 on the daily chart. This was going into market open. Now taking it down to the 1-hour chart for a closer look. We can adjust our trend line slightly. And we can see the market coming into this area. And then, so we have bullish market structure here, higher highs and higher lows. But at market open, the market pushed down, putting in the lower high, lower low, and we began our descent. So these are the things I like to look for: stacking time frames, starting from the higher time frame, working my way down, using candle confirmations on the daily, looking for a daily chart pattern. And I didn't get into the pattern just yet, but looking at the daily chart pattern, looking at the higher time frame patterns, trading with the higher time frame Fibonacci, going from the what I call the golden zone at 61.8 to the 78.6, all the way to the Fibonacci extensions, the 0, the minus 27, the minus 61.8, which many traders use. So doing that from a higher time frame gives us a large window to look for sell opportunities. So as you can see, I've been selling this all the way from 1800 down to the now what is now the 1600, so 1673.
Okay, now if I'm not mistaken, you do have a swing account, right?
Yes,
Mhm.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
you do hold your trade sometimes for a couple of days. Now, what I would like to know is that how do you know when to exit the trade? Because that's something that a lot of traders I think struggle with. I mean, if you open a position and it's going well for you, obviously that's nice. But how do you know when to close just at the right time? Because I mean, holding a position open for multiple days when you see the profit, I mean, it must be so appealing just to close it off and just to be okay. I've secured a profit. So how do you calculate the exits?
That is a very great question. So I like to go for higher risk to reward. So I always want to at least attempt to swing the trade if possible. So what I'll do is I'll either aim for a take profit that is at a significant key level
Mm-hmm.
or at one of the Fibonacci extension targets. And this could be on the 4-hour chart or the daily. In this situation, I believe I went for the daily Fibonacci extension. So looking at this daily chart, we had the Fibonacci going from swing high to low. And we can see the final extension here is at the minus 61.8. But because I was trading also the higher time frame Fibonacci from the 61.8 down to these extension targets down here, I actually closed some profits, but held this trade a bit longer. So all the way to actually my first target is usually the 23.6. Target 2 is the 0% on the Fibonacci. Target 3 would be the minus 27. And then target 4 would be all the way down here. We rarely reach target 4, but yeah, so that's how I go about swinging the market. And then also I'll trail my stop loss. So if we take it to the 4-hour chart, I usually tend to trail behind if I'm in a sell position, the swing highs on the 4-hour.
Okay.
See the market making a swing high here and then pushing lower. Once we get a massive push lower, then I'll move the stop loss from what was like right around here to just above these highs. You can see we gave a little pullback and broke below. Then I'll move it down to these highs and just continue until you can see we got this move and then we push down. So I think I was stopped out right around this area here.
Okay, that's good to know. So you're moving the stop loss manually. You're not using a trailing stop.
I'm actually manually moving my stop loss. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
manually moving stop loss.
Okay. All right. Now, mentioning the risk reward ratio, I know that your is very high. I think at the FTMO account where you made almost $15,000, it was about 6, something like that. But naturally, if you have a high risk reward ratio, then the win rate tends to be a bit lower. So how do you deal with the fact that you do lose a trade quite often?
I'll tell you why that happens. So I'm aiming for these really tight stop losses, and that's just how I like to trade. I want to keep the risk to a minimum, and that's just how I go about it. So let's talk about the entry here. Looking at this entry right around this 4-hour chart, you can see this is where I wanted to actually enter the trade at around 1800 on gold. So we take it down to the 1-hour. I like to wait to see if the market is going to give me the lower high to go in line with the bearish market structure on the higher time frames. And then we can even draw an even tighter trend line right up in here. So when the market came down, pushed past this trend line, I then look for some sort of entry. And obviously you can see Fibonacci's are a big part of my strategy here. Let's take it to a 15-minute chart now. Let's go to that point in time. Okay. Now this was, I believe this was right around market open, but what we can see here is the market giving a push, giving a pull right back into our golden zone. And this is one of the patterns that I like to look for. This is what I call a higher W pattern. And I know many traders look for M's and W's in an uptrend or a downtrend. I think they tend to look for M's in a downtrend, W's in an uptrend. I do the reverse. I like to look for W's in a downtrend M's in an uptrend. And in this case, we have a downtrend, or we're preparing for our descent based on higher time frame confluences. So when the market made this push down, it gave us this higher W pattern. We compared that higher W pattern with a Fibonacci, taking the Fibonacci from the highest point of the pattern to the lowest point of the pattern. We can see the market pulling into the golden zone, what I like to call a golden zone, at the 78.6. And let's take it to the 5-minute chart for a closer look. If the market lets me go back, yeah, there we are to that point in time on the 5-minute chart. All right, so we can see the market putting in one of my candlestick types, the wick rejection, followed by the bearish momentum candle. So this is what I like to do, is go ahead and enter the trade with a really tight stop loss just above that confirmation candle. So you're looking at a super tight stop loss. This is why we see you might see some losses here, but they're so small. It's not even that much of a hit to the account. You know, once we take a look at the account metrics, you'll see what the average loss is compared to the average win. But after the first 7 days of trading the 50K account, I believe my RRR was 12. It was 12 at that. And but I was happy with the profits, so I began to take profits sooner, which decreased my RRR towards the end of that 10-day stint, 10 trading day stint. So yeah, this is what we'll do. We can take it back or extend the profit out, take it back to the 4-hour.
Okay, so let me just quickly jump in. So thanks to the fact that the losses, if they happen, they're so small that you're not psychologically, that it doesn't mean that much, that you can still be able to focus and stick to the plan, because you know well that, yeah, I mean, you might have had, I don't know, like 5-6 losses in a row, but still it's so small that it doesn't break anything.
That's right. That's right. It's all about, my trading strategy is all about keeping the risk to a minimum, keeping the profits large. If we can do that consistently, Vitek, then we can see success in this game, no matter what. I think that's the business of Forex. I think that's the business of trading. It's keeping the risk to a minimum, but extending the profits as high as we can take them. This could have easily been a massive swing trade that I would still be holding today. But, because I want to take the profits, let's go ahead and secure the profits from our FTMO accounts when it's time for profit split day, then we got to go ahead and close these trades and take the profits. So I will say that is the reason for the win ratio.
Okay. Now, I just wanted to ask another thing regarding the calculation of the risk. How do you calculate your risk? I mean, do you say, okay, I'm gonna risk, let's say 0.5% of the account per every trade, or do you calculate the risk by pips, or just how do you calculate your risk?
That's a great question. So you mentioned in the beginning a few minutes ago that I have a swing account, and on the FTMO swing account, guys, they decrease your leverage from 100 to 1 to 30 to 1. Yes. And I think that's super important because it keeps you disciplined. It keeps the trader disciplined, especially if you're a new trader and you haven't built the discipline to not over leverage your account. So as far as leverage, I like to risk less than 1%. I know some people say 1 to 3%. I like to risk much less than that because I want to ensure and guarantee that I can pull out a profit and that my account is safe. So on the 50K account, I believe every trade that I took was just 2 lots, and I like to keep it that way. Even on some bigger accounts, I'll scale up from there. So on a 100K account, it'll be my max lot size positioning will be 4 lots. And I'll always keep the pips less than 30 pips per trade.
All right.
On the stop loss placement.
Okay. Another thing that came up to my mind, do you also sometimes use scaling? That means do you scale in the position? For example, if you have a position and you hold it for a couple of days and you see the trend is strong, do you tend to scale in with smaller positions as well?
I try to scale in as I can for sure. Yeah, if I'm holding trade for multiple days, usually each trading day will see some sort of pullback. Let's say I hold a trade for just 5 days. Well, each day after the first entry, there's usually a pullback for a re-entry before the market moves in the direction of the trade. And this pullback usually occurs either during London or New York session, but mostly during the London-New York overlap, which is between 7 to 11 a.m. Central Time. And I noticed that the majority of my entries come during that time. And if we look at my account metrics, when we get to that point, we'll see that that is my highest profitable time for entry.
All right.
All right. So here are my account metrics. Looking at the account metrics, you can see here that I noticed I had a bit of drawdown at the start of the account, but then was able to bring it back and close out at close to $15,000 profit. Scrolling down, we can see here the max daily loss and the profit. And here,
yeah, I mean, we can see thanks to this tight stop losses, you were far, far away from the limits.
Yeah. I don't even come close to touching the max daily loss or the max loss. I try not to. It's very important to me to maintain the, the health of this account. So I think that's really important for traders to do. It takes a lot of discipline and patience, but it's totally possible. The goal is to at least attempt to guarantee some sort of success in this business, and it's possible if we focus on that instead of focusing on the profits.
Okay. Well, speaking of that, how long did it take you to actually, let's say, gain this approach? Because from the interviews that we've had, the one thing that is in common, or what I hear quite often, is that traders say that mastering the psychology is really the key, right? Really something that you cannot do or learn in a few weeks or months. It's something that really takes years of experience to master.
I totally agree with you there. It's not the easiest thing to do, and even sometimes I still struggle with that. And all the traders that I speak with on a regular basis, they struggle with that. I've talked to hundreds of traders and they have the same issues. And if all the traders are having these same issues, there has to be a way to solve this problem. And one of the main ways is decreasing the risk or the leverage, decreasing the leverage, which is why I've chosen a swing account. If the leverage is only 1 to 30, then it's very difficult for you to accidentally enter 5 lots when you should be entering 1. So, yeah. I like to put protocols in place that will keep the checks and balances of my emotions in check.
All right. Now here we can also see that you've in this trading period you've entered a little over 60 trades. So that is something we haven't talked about. So how much time do you spend trading a day? Like, is it only like in the morning, or do you like trade during the whole day? How do you do it?
Well, like I said, my most profitable entry time is the London-New York overlap. I think traders will find a lot of success if they solely focus on entering trades during that time. Although there are the emotions of gaining more and more profit. So you'll see that I've taken trades outside of that time frame. I should stick with that time frame and double down on my most profitable times. So I would say that understanding what my most profitable time to enter trades is definitely important with keeping me in front of the charts for a small amount of time and then stepping away from the charts to do other things and go about my day. I definitely don't like to be in front of the charts all day. So for most part, I'm in front of the charts for just about 4 to 5 hours a day.
Okay. All right. So we mentioned the stats, so could you just scroll down a little, and so we can take a look at the entry time that you've made. You said that you were most profitable. Okay, we see it here. You were most profitable at 4 and 6 p.m. Well, our time, so that is exactly the London and the US session overlap. So why do you think this works so well for you?
That's a great question. I think it's because it takes a lot of liquidity in the market to move the market in a certain way, whether it's against the trend or with the trend, then it just takes a lot of liquidity. This is when the US banks and the European banks are trading assets and the market makers are trading their funds. This is when the stock market opens. This is when money is moving all around the world. And I think this is a great time to capitalize on those movements in price.
All right. Now, another thing that caught my attention is that you were mostly shorting. Is that something that you do like most of the time, or was it just this occasion on this FTMO account?
Yeah, I think that's important to differentiate. I know that it's only because the market was bearish at that time. As I mentioned, I like to trade currency pairs that are in sync with each other from the top down. And in this situation with gold, it was bearish on the monthly all the way down to the lower time frames. So in this case, I just continued to sell in the situation and saw some profits. I definitely will say it's super important for new traders to trade currency pairs that are in sync with each other. Market structure in sync from the top down, because that's going to make the business of trading and taking profits out of the market a lot simpler, especially for new traders. If you're advanced, then cool, you probably could trade any currency pair under any condition. But if all the market structure on higher time frames all the way down is in sync, whether bullish or bearish, and you're taking trades in line with that, you can luck up and have success. It doesn't take much skill set to do that. And I think new traders should focus on currency pairs like that when they're setting their watch lists up to start, Sunday's market open. Definitely look for currency pairs that are in sync with each other on market structure from the top down.
Okay. Speaking of the currency pairs, we said that gold was really the gold mine for you in this FTMO account. But I've seen that when you were trading your FTMO challenge and verification, you were also trading, if I'm mistaken, a Bitcoin and GBP/USD, something like that. So do you also trade other pairs, or are you now mostly focused just on gold?
I used to be all over the place. I used to trade a lot of different currency pairs. In this case, in this situation, and today with the way my trading is set up, I like to focus on gold. Gold is definitely my favorite. It's volatile, which I know a lot of people want to stay away from, but I recommend that volatility, especially when you're waiting for the market to go in line, in sync with market structure from the top down. I think that's super important. So yes, gold is the asset that I am only trading at this time.
All right. Well, after all, volatility is our bread and butter, right? If all the markets would just go to the side, and there wouldn't be no profits. And again, it is something that we're not seeing for the first time, because a lot of more experienced traders, they just find a couple of, or even just one instrument that they find that they're good at, and just keep focusing on that one, and they keep mastering it. So you're just not a confirmation, I would say, that that we see here in our interviews.
Yeah, it's not necessary to trade a bunch of currency pairs. I'd rather double down on one, increase my lot size and increase my capital as we progress, and really understand these currency pairs. They really have personalities of their own. From going from trading gold to trading Bitcoin is really different. It's not the same, but if you understand the technical strategies that I mentioned briefly on the technical analysis side, then you'll know what to do. You'll know what to look for. You'll know how to set up your chart, and you'll know how to really get that optimal entry and then optimize your trade as the trade is playing out.
Okay. Alrighty. And here we are in the final part with Justin. We've been through a lot. We've talked about how you started to trade. Now we've seen how exactly you approach the markets. And now let's spend some time and talk about your plans in your future. You've been trading with us for quite a while. Now you're managing 2 FTMO accounts. So what are your plans as a trader?
Well, I'd have to say FTMO is a great opportunity for anyone to join. It's super simple to sign up, very small fee, when you can manage a large amount of capital. And my goal is to reach the max allocation. And once I have that, I'm able to scale up and manage bigger funds and see bigger profits. I like to take those profits and start other businesses. We'll get into that in another interview, hopefully. But these are the goals of mine. I definitely want to become the absolute best trader I can be. And if this is something that we're going to do full time for the rest of our lives, then it has to be simple. It has to be something we can do in and day out. And it has to be something that's sustainable, where we're not putting our account at much risk. So yeah, my goal is to definitely reach that max allocation, receive profit splits every chance I can get, and to just take those profits and start the businesses and charities that I'd like to start.
So I was just wondering, this sort of flexibility that you've talked about. I mean, you're a busy man. You said that you do sports. You have some plans for other businesses as well. So this flexibility that you have, that you can trade for a couple of hours a day, and then you can really put your focus to virtually anything else. Is that for you the number one reason why you wanna pursue this career of a trader?
Yes, Vitek, absolutely. That's the reason why I went into Forex to begin with. You know, as I mentioned at the beginning of the call, I'm into web development and work with some Fortune 100 firms. And the reason why I went into web development is because it's a super flexible career. So you can imagine, when I found out about Forex, it was like a dream come true. I had to master the skill set and understand how I can attain this flexibility and these types of profits that I saw other traders attaining. So yeah, flexibility is a major part of why I began my Forex journey. And I think if other traders begin their Forex journey, they'll see this type of flexibility where they can live their lives, they can travel, they can work out in the middle of the day while many of their friends are at work, and they'll love it.
Okay. Are you also planning, or are you managing at this time your own private life account as well?
I'm managing FTMO and my own private accounts. I'd like to expand that as far as I can possibly take it, for sure.
All right, so you would like to expand on both sides, maybe taking some of the profits you receive from FTMO, putting it to your own life account, and do both simultaneously.
Absolutely. I use a trade copier. I use Social Trader Tools. I think is a really good platform. If anyone has a better platform, then message me at tradergrowth.com and let me know any tips. I like to provide value here. If you feel the need to provide value back to me, then feel free. You can reach me at tradergrowth.com. You can also email me at justin@tradergrowth.com.
All right. Now, for how long have you been trading? Like, since the first time you put on the first trade up until today?
I believe that was in 2016. So the first trade I've ever taken live was in 2016. So here we are in 2022, and it's been quite some time. It's been a journey of ups and downs, definitely a journey of ups and downs. Trading on, for the first several years, trading live funds, taking money that I was making from my job or business and putting that into a Forex account. And at the beginning, the first 2 months, seeing the profits increase drastically, but then 2 years following, seeing the profits not showing that type of success. So it definitely took some time to develop the discipline and the skill set to see profitability in this game. And I will say that FTMO played a big role in that. You know, before joining FTMO, I didn't know that I should be keeping my account above 10% drawdown, or I should be keeping my account above 5% daily max drawdown. And understanding the rules that you all have in place has drastically helped to improve my results, and to a point where other traders are coming to me asking me for advice. And I speak with hundreds of traders, and I'm telling them the same thing. I'm telling them to keep their accounts above 10% drawdown, keep their accounts above 5% max daily drawdown. And they're now seeing success. Several traders that I speak with and I've been working with have also joined FTMO and have live accounts. So yeah, I think it's definitely has been a journey and a roller coaster ride. If there's any type of advice that I could give to traders, I'd definitely say, you know, there's a wide range of qualities that help traders succeed in these markets, but
all right,
what helped me the most is risk to reward ratio, keeping the risk to reward ratios high. at highest possible. That definitely gives you longevity in this business.
I mean, it is interesting that you took the rules that we have, the trading objectives, the maxes, the max delos, and if I understand correctly, you've applied it to your own live account as well, and that's how you trade now.
Exactly. I've applied that to my own live account. I've also decreased the leverage. You know, I know when I first got into trading, I was going for these 1 to 1,000 account leverage, which makes no sense. It has to make sense. You know, today I'm definitely using 1 to 30 or maybe even 1 to 50 leverage. And it's obviously there's nothing wrong with using the 1 to 100 leverage that you all offer on your regular FTMO accounts, but I prefer the swing account.
All right. Now, again, there's a lot of new traders, maybe somebody who's not even in trading yet. So I assume that you also had periods of some disappointments. I mean, everybody does. But the thing is, if you're not successful in trading, you actually lose money, which is I think what really drives a lot of people away from trading, right? Because if you're not successful in let's say a sport, then you're not gonna win, right? But you're not losing anything. If you're not successful in trading, you're actually losing money, which is why it is so painful. But anyway, what do you think would be your advice to the people who are right now in this spot? Maybe they feel that they trading is the thing that they should do, but they're just not successful yet. So what would be your advice?
Well, I would say the most important thing that I did was that I stuck with it. I did not give up. I kept going, stuck with it, definitely put in the long hours of study and practice and continue to take FTMO challenges. I didn't pass my first one. So I took the knowledge from that. I studied what went wrong, definitely study what goes wrong, analyze every trade, even the winning trades. You know, don't get excited about the wins, analyze why you won those trades. Take that into consideration, understand why you lost trades. You know, how are you feeling in the moment? How was your leverage? Where did you enter? Where did you place your stop loss? Did you close the trade early? Did you let the trade play out through to your take profit? How did you go about your top-down analysis? Did you pay attention to market structure? I definitely tell traders, you know, pay attention to market structure, which I mentioned many times throughout this call. Look for currency pairs that are in line with each other, that are in sync from top down. You know, understand the patterns, and these are patterns that I now talk to many traders about who come to me, who message me at tradergrowth.com. You know, and by the time this goes live, tradergrowth.com will be live, and there'll be some free videos for you all to watch. You know, my goal is to provide you as much value as possible, because, you know, when I started trading, there weren't many other people trading. I didn't have the mentors to go to. You know, it was really just me by myself in my room in front of a screen, trying to understand this thing that I became obsessed with because of the first 2 months of success. You know, after that, it definitely became a healthy obsession, healthy with air quotes. So now I would definitely recommend the traders to stick with it, but find and seek out the knowledge that actually makes sense, not the gimmicky stuff that you see on Google, on social media sites, or even some YouTube channels. Definitely find the true things that make sense, the fundamentals, and then also the true technical analysis. As I mentioned, when it comes to patterns, I look for pretty much the opposite of what the majority of traders look for. And I'd be happy to share that information with you. Obviously, we have time constraints here, so as you all know, to reach out to me on tradergrowth.com. So yeah, that's my advice to traders. Definitely stick with it. Join FTMO. FTMO has helped me to keep emotions down because I have not much money at risk. You can get a 200K account for just, I believe, $1,200, $1,200 US. You can achieve a 100K account for, I believe, $600 US. So that is an amazing opportunity, guys. Extremely amazing opportunity. I received my profit split in 10 days of trading the 50K account, or within 14 days or 15 days of trading the 50K account. And it's definitely a blessing. So I would say definitely stick with join FTMO, stick with your trading, find the information that works, and reach out to me if you want any questions answered.
All right. So I think we could actually summarize it to 2 points. First one, don't give up. And second one, keep on moving, keep on progressing. Don't get stuck up at one place. And eventually, you're probably going to succeed.
Exactly. It's really, and keep the risk to reward as high as possible, especially when first starting out. For new traders, it's okay to swing trade and understand the higher time frame price action first. That's going to give you a very good lower time frame clarity on how to analyze those charts. So yeah, definitely new traders. I noticed when I first started trading, I would go straight to the 5-minute time frame without even looking at the monthly, weekly, or the daily charts. So yeah, and now I become a stronger trader by doing the top-down analysis. And I recommend that new traders definitely learn how to perform a proper top-down analysis and look for trades with sinking market structure.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, Justin, thank you so much for being here today with us. And
for sure.
if there's any last words that you like to shout out, now's your time.
Well, I'd say, I'm super thankful for FTMO. If there's any one person that I would shout out, I have to say it's my brother. If you watch this, man, I'd say, man, thank you for being such a inspiration. I have a younger brother who's an inspiration. If you all think I'm relentless and focused and passionate about my work, he's 10 times more and 10 times more successful in what he does in his line of business. So I would say shout out to you, man. And when you watch this, send me a text.
All right. And that's FTMO.